Hi everybody, and welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Woohoo! The second one. This is actually kind of cool. It's kind of fun. I am not shooting, as you can tell, in the gazebo. I'm in my van. And the reason that I am in my van is because one of the questions is going to require me showing you something in the van. So I decided to just shoot in the van today. But I am at the library. I'm in the library parking lot. So anyway. Alright, so first question, and I'm using my tablet again, and I took screenshots, as you can see, on my cell phone. Hey, you got to make it work, right? You do the best you got with what you got. Do the best you can with what you got. Alright, so the first question is from, again, I'm not using last names if it looks like it's a real name. If it looks like a YouTube or a handle or something, then I'll use it. But if it looks like it might be a real name, I won't use a last name. So the first one is from Estella, and she says, do you have a P.O. box or plan to get one? And Flower Child commented pretty much asking the same thing, saying, or use one of those services that caters to dwellers by forwarding them their mail to them no matter where they are. So that's basically the same question. The answer is no. I do not have a P.O. box. I am probably not going to get a P.O. box until I get to Arizona, because then I can check it. And I don't think I want to do any kind of mail forwarding service because I don't really have bills that come in the mail. Everything is electronic, so I don't plan on doing that. The only reason I would do a P.O. box when I get to Arizona in November is if someone wants to send me something, a letter or a gift, something like that. And since I'm going to be there for like 7-8 months, I figured it's a good, time to, right now, my other bills, and I'm getting ready to, and I've already talked to my son and daughter a lot about using their address as my driver's license address. So I'm going to do that and change my bank to their address as well. But other than that, all my other bills are pretty much electronic. I don't have, bills that come in the mail anymore. So, all right, next question. Oh, it's the same person, Estella, okay. How did you get started with the YouTube channel? Okay, so after watching, if you go back to my story, in the VEDA series, there's one entitled My Story. If you go back to that video, you'll see that I watched a lot of tiny house videos, and then YouTube started recommending van dwelling videos. So when I decided that this was the journey I was going to take, I just basically set up a YouTube channel because I saw other people documenting their journey, and I know I wanted to document my journey. So, I mean, it's very simple. I already had a YouTube account for watching videos. I didn't have any videos, so I decided to just make another account and then make it the Nomadic Natural, which I'm going to be changing it to just Crystal Vanner anyway, instead of the Nomadic Natural. I mean, I don't mind the Nomadic Natural, but I'm really doing less and less hair videos, and I've kind of decided that I'm probably going to cut my mohawk back again. So I don't know how many hair videos I'm going to be doing. At the time, in the beginning, if you look some of the earlier videos, I was kind of showing you how I did my hair and stuff, and I even had one video where I was outside of my van showing you what I normally do for my hair, but I don't really do much to my hair anymore. I mean, this is like it. So, because I'm not really focusing on the natural hair journey as much anymore, or even the planner journey as much as anymore, and I'm going to be doing crafty type stuff or artsy type stuff because I want to get back into art. But yeah, so my channel has evolved as my journey has evolved. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get started on YouTube. You already have a YouTube account, it looks like, on your name, so you can just add a secondary account if you want on a different name. A fake name or a handle or whatever you want to call it. Alright, next question is from Real Nomad. Real Nomad. Okay. Do you love your natural hair? I think it's beautiful and versatile. My hair is similar to yours. I keep mine natural as well. I don't get why so many people call their hair bad hair or kinky with a negative connotation. As a black female from the Caribbean, I love myself and my culture. This does not prevent me from appreciating other cultures. Okay, yeah, I do. I love my natural hair. Obviously, I wouldn't have gone natural if I wasn't up for the challenge that it takes, because it is very versatile, but it can be very challenging if you have been one of the people of color who use relaxers a lot and you've never ever dealt with your natural hair texture. Luckily for me, back when I was pregnant with my son, my hair basically revolted against relaxers and would not keep a relaxer in it at all. So I was forced to go natural during my pregnancy with my son. So I kind of already had a small snippet of what life was like as a natural, but I did keep my hair in a TWA, which TWA stands for teeny weeny afro. So I only had about an inch to an inch and a half, 2 inches max of hair that I kept on my head, and just in one afro, all the same length. And I just pretty much would spray it down with water and moisturizer and pick it out every day, and that's pretty much all I did for a few years. I kept my hair natural from probably my 3rd or 4th month of pregnancy all the way until my son was probably 5. Yeah, he was probably about 5 when I went back to getting a relaxer, 5 or 6-ish. So I did have several years of dealing with my natural hair. Now, when I got married the second time in 2007, I was at that point for the last few years before that, probably around 2005-ish, I was only using relaxers 2 or 3 times a year. So I wasn't relaxing like every 8 weeks like some people do. I was only doing it a few times a year, and because I liked wearing my hair curly, so I used the relaxer more as a texturizer. So I kind of liked my hair in a looser curl pattern. So what I would do is I would relax it, and then I would roll it up on perm rods that women, Caucasian women, use to get their hair curly with a chemical perm. So, and I would do that. So yeah, I've always liked my hair curly. When I was young, I always liked it straight, but that was the styles back then. So anyway, hope that answers your question. All right, next question is Sunshine Max. And it says, can you do a live stream? Well, yes, I can. I have been thinking about live streaming. The only thing about live streaming is I would definitely give you guys several days notice as to the day and the time zone that I would be doing a live stream. So yeah, I would definitely consider doing maybe a What's Up Wednesday live stream, maybe. I would consider that. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I would definitely consider that. So yeah. Alright, this one is from Kathy. Hi, I want to know how many hours a day are you going to drive when you go to Arizona? I am in Pennsylvania, and I'm going for the first time this year and was trying to calculate the drive, and I'm thinking it's going to take me like 2 weeks to get there, driving maybe 3 hours a day, which some days may be 2 hours, and some could even be 4 or 5, depending on how I feel that day. I would love to find a person or a group to travel with. I'm going to find your Facebook. I am Catherine on Facebook. My picture is of me. Oh, okay. You have great videos. You're very natural in front of the camera. I look dumb when I make a video. No, you don't. I'm sure you don't. I don't think I look great making videos either. Alright, so yes, how many hours a day I'm going to drive when I start heading to Arizona? So I'm pretty much like you. I'm going to be doing the 3 to 4 hours a day. I had planned on a whole month because I knew I wanted to stop at different places. I know I can do it in less than a month, and I probably will end up doing it in less than a month, but I've already decided that I'm going to just go from the whole month of October will be dedicated to driving out to Arizona. So wherever I stop is where I stop, and if I get there early, I get there early, no big deal to me. So yeah, probably 3 to 4 hours. 5 is usually my max. 5 is pushing it because my hip starts to hurt. I do have a joint condition, so my knees and my hips hurt when I sit too long. So yeah, 5 is like really maximizing and pushing it, and basically if I do the 5 hours, I'm not going to drive anymore that day because I'm going to just be too stiff and I just got to lay down. So yeah. Alright. Hold on. Alright, this one, it was a long one, so I had to take 2 screenshots. And this one is from, looks like Adrian. So let me go to your first screenshot. And it says, okay, where's the question? Hold on. She's saying that she's basically 6 years younger than me, and a lot of things I said she does too, as far as having relaxed hair and the type of things that she wears, and that she never plans on remarrying either. Okay, let me go back to the second screenshot and see where your question is. Okay, here we go. This is the question that required me to definitely show you something in the car. I couldn't remember whose question it was, but it is Adrian's. Okay, so the question is, as for questions, have you thought about solar? Do you just keep your tablet and phone charged from the car battery? Thanks. Alright, so I'm going to take you guys, I'm going to unplug you and take you and show you how I charge things. Alright, so I have a friend, and he is also a van dweller, but he is currently only a part-time dweller. But his job, basically his career, is audio visual. Sorry guys. Alright, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. Nope, I gotta move the... Alright, hold on for a minute guys. I gotta move the seat. His career is audio visual and solar. And this is what he has done for me. I'm hoping this doesn't flip crazy. Okay. And I think I've shown this in one other video. So I have a small battery bank here. And I have my, what do you call this thing? Inverter, I guess. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm hoping you can see that. Because I can't see what you just saw. So I hope that you saw that. So yeah, small battery bank of 2, 4, 6, 8 small batteries. And they provide me with, I'm gonna put the seat back, 40 amp hours. And they charge off of my, what do you call it, alternator when I drive. So I'm hoping you saw the batteries, because when I turn the phone around, I can't see what you're seeing. So I'm hoping you saw the batteries. Comment below if you couldn't see anything, and I'll take a picture and put it on Instagram, which I might do anyway. So yeah, so he hooked that up for me, and I do not have solar yet, but the system is ready to go, so that when I do get solar, all I have to do is plug them into the inverter, and it's ready to go. So yeah, I have a plug, a 2-pronged cigarette lighter port plugged into that inverter, and it has my fan in it, and then it has a cigarette lighter port with 2 USBs in it that has my 2 USB chargers, one for my cell phone and one for my tablet. Although my tablet stays completely off until I'm using it, because it's only a Wi-Fi tablet, so it's not like I'm going to use it on a regular basis. So if I'm not using my tablet, it's completely shut down. So yeah, usually all I'm really charging is my phone. Okay, I hope that answers that. Alright, and so, okay, here we go. Next question is from Miss Shaw 43, and it says, Crystal, I have a question that might be helpful. Would you talk about Netflix cost, how you download movies when traveling, etc.? Perfect. Yeah, that's fine. I'll talk about that. So I do have Netflix, and I do have Hulu. And if you are an Amazon Prime member, Amazon Prime, you get free, if you look in their video section of Amazon Prime, you can get free downloads or free watching of certain shows. And if you want to buy a series, it's usually a cheaper price because you already have Amazon Prime. So I don't use the Amazon Prime as much as I used to when it first started, because a lot of times they kind of trick you. They'll give you half of the first season. You can watch it for free, and then if you want to continue on, you got to start paying. And so that kind of pissed me off a little bit, because they like want to, I know they want to make their money, but yeah. So I kind of stopped using Amazon video watching as much as I used to. But I do download a lot of things from Netflix, and my Netflix account has other people on it as well, because, you know, I'm paying for it anyway. So I have a couple friends who have access to it. So what I do is whenever I'm around Wi-Fi, I will download a series that I might be sort of interested in, but I'm not necessarily invested in watching right now, so that at those times when I don't have Wi-Fi, I've got something to watch. If I want to watch something. I'm really trying to read more, so I've downloaded the OneDrive app. If you download, it's OneDrive, and it's a blue background with a white circle, and it's basically, if you have a library card at any public library, you can usually sync it to the OneDrive app, and you can borrow audiobooks and you can borrow ebooks from your library. No matter where you are, your local library, wherever your card is from, you can borrow books. So that's cool. So I've done that, and the ebooks open up usually in Kindle, and the audiobooks I like to download, and sometimes I like to listen to audiobooks while I drive instead of music. It kind of keeps me engaged, I guess. So it's almost like listening to someone having a conversation. I haven't listened to podcasts yet, but I think I'm going to start listening to some podcasts as well while I drive. And Netflix, my Netflix costs me, they have two different accounts, as Hulu does as well. And I think the regular account is $7.99, I think, for Hulu. And the no commercials account for Hulu, I think, is $11.99, which I have the no commercial one. I'm like, if I'm going to pay for it, I don't want to watch commercials. So, but the no commercial one is funny because even though it's no commercial, there are some primetime shows that show a commercial before it starts and then at the very end. So you don't have commercials in the middle of your show, which is fine with me. That's more, and I mostly use Hulu because it's summer. I'm not watching Hulu, but I mostly use Hulu when all my regular primetime shows come back on, which is in September, like Empire and Grey's Anatomy and all those kinds of primetime shows. When those things come back on in September, that's when I'll start using Hulu again. So yeah. In the Netflix, I believe Netflix costs me anywhere from $7 to $10. I'm not 100% sure of the cost of my Netflix, but it's, you know, it's worth it, especially since you can now download. Back in the day, you couldn't download, so I like the download feature. All right, next question again from Flower Child. Non-serious question. Storm with the Avengers or Storm with the X-Men? I love it. I did mention last week in my What's Up Wednesday that I liked the comic book movies. Now, I will tell you, Flower Child, that I am not a comic book nerd or comic book buff or comic book fan. I have not read comic books. Husband number 2, comic book geek, and he does all of them. So I don't remember which one he prefers, Marvel or DC, as his top choice, but he has comics from both, so it's not like he's a purist, if you will. I got into the comic book sort of because of him, and when the movies started coming out, he wanted to watch the movies, and so that's my only linkage, is the movies. And so I haven't seen Storm with the Avengers because I've never read the comics. So my answer will be Storm with the X-Men, because that's the only place I've ever seen her, is with the X-Men because of the movies. So yeah, I'm not that deep into comics, but I do watch all of the movies that come out because I just love the action movies like that. And my first choice in movie is horror. I'm a horror movie buff, but ever since I was young, always liked horror movies. But they suck nowadays, so I've gotten into some of the more action movies, and those are the only movies that I will pay to go see on a big screen, and I usually try and see a matinee to save the few bucks, just because who wants to see an action movie on a small tablet, you know what I mean? Now, I'll watch it again a second or a third time on the tablet, but the original time you see it, you want to see it on that huge screen. Thanks for your question. All right, next person is Ann. It says, question for next week. Do you prefer traveling via interstates, or what I refer to as back roads, aka secondary roads, and why? Okay, that's a good question. I personally like both. If I have a long distance to cover, obviously I want to do as much interstate as I can. But I don't mind taking the secondary or the back roads a little bit, except when it's mountains. I do not like driving through mountains. And being from Virginia and doing some traveling the last couple of months in Virginia and around Virginia, well, not around it, but the edges of Virginia, the southern and the western parts of Virginia, not West Virginia, but the western part of Virginia, lots of mountains, and I don't like it. So, you know, not your mama's van. She's old, so all those mountain hills is, you know, when they get steep, it's really hard on her. So I try not to do too many mountains if I can avoid it. Next is from Heels King. So this one does not look like it's a question. It's just talking about, for safety, having an air horn. If someone breaks in your car, you just need time to pull off. So if you blow the air horn, it will scare them enough for you to pull off. Also, they're against having a gun for the same reasons that I said, and they wouldn't get a taser or spray because of the small space. They can backfire on me. I had thought about the fact of the spray backfiring on me if I sprayed at someone in such a small confined space, that I would also get some in my eyes. Yeah, I'm not sure about the taser, but I had thought about that with the spray. But an air horn, that is a good idea, actually. Because like you said, you just need to scare them enough for me to jump into the front seat and be gone. Alright, so the next one, which is a long one, is from Chief One Lung. And let me go to the first. Where's the question? Oh, the question. Have you ever considered a small, lightweight travel trailer and a pickup truck? No. I considered a pickup truck, like I mentioned last week, with the camper shell on it. I just kind of, again, YouTube suggested those after I started doing the tiny houses, and then van dwelling, and then camper trucks showed up. So, but I don't think I want to be pulling anything. That's just, yeah, I don't want to have to pull anything. So no, I have not considered that. It says that my camper only weighs 1,100 pounds. I have a full bed, stove, fridge. They are really nice. They are very, very, very nice. I have seen them. Plus, I can disconnect it and leave it and run errands with the truck. That is a very good question. I mean, a very good point that you bring up, because yes, when you have the trailer on the pickup truck, yes, you are right. You can drop disconnect your trailer part, your house part, and take your truck into town and go run errands. But I think for the kind of dwelling that I was doing, oh, what is this on my shirt? Oh, it's a piece of fuss. The kind of dwelling that I've been doing this last couple of years, that would have been too obvious that someone was living in their vehicle, so that wouldn't have worked for me. Now that I'm more of a traveler, yes, something like that would definitely work better. So, let's see, my, where's another question? I just saw a question mark. Where'd it go? Okay. Another question for next Wednesday. What do you charge for a haircut? You know, it's funny because someone else had mentioned that I should do haircuts when I get to the big different gatherings. Like I'm going to the Van Build in November, and I'm also going to be going to the RTR. I'll be in Arizona for the RTR in January. So you're saying you'll be there at the RTR and you will need a haircut by then. I had toyed around with doing just donations because I know a lot of van dwellers don't make a lot of money. But I'm thinking probably somewhere between $5 and $10 for a haircut. Just because I also don't want to short myself, because, I mean, not to toot my own horn, toot toot, I'm a pretty good hairdresser, so I'm not going to give some cheesy haircuts. I'm going to give a decent haircut. So I'm thinking somewhere between $5 and $10 per haircut is a decent price. So I'm thinking something like that. Alright. Next is Reverend Cindy. So she is saying wasp spray is a great deterrent. It's better than mace because the assailant will need to get to the hospital or they will go blind. Okay. Well, thank you, Reverend Cindy. Not a question, but that was good. Next, that one's not a question. I don't know why I took a picture of that. Okay, here's another one from Turtle Party. Crystal Vanner. Oh, their question is, could the person with the thumbs down be an ex? You're not the only person who said that, Turtle Party. I was thinking it already myself, but yes, it could be an ex-husband, or I don't think it would be an ex-boyfriend because, yeah, I don't know. But it could be an ex-husband or the soon-to-be ex-husband. Maybe, you're right. Next one is from Minivan Mike. I haven't seen all of your videos, but did you paint your rear windows? Good idea. Yes, and I did answer this question, but I did originally painted the very back rear windows black at the beginning of last summer. And I felt like it was extremely hot, and I thought it was because I had painted the windows black. So then I painted the windows white. I honestly don't think, excuse me, that it mattered if they were white or black. I think it was just hot. So I am probably going to repaint them black or paint some sort of design or picture on there. Now, I was deterred by people in Facebook when I mentioned that I wanted to paint some kind of design or a mural or something on the windows, that it would definitely make my van stand out and it wouldn't be as stealth anymore. And even though I know that, I still want to paint them. So I haven't made a decision yet. So what I plan to do is to paint them black again until I can decide what I want to do, because the white does definitely stand out. Anyway, it stands out anyway. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just go back to painting them black, and I'll probably you know, just regular plain old spray paint black, and figure out if I want to paint an actual picture or a mural or a design or something on there. I just feel like I want something on there, but it's all good. I'd also thought about scraping off the paint altogether, and so that's still an option as well, because I do have a light tint to my windows. You can definitely see in them, but I do have a light tint to them, so I could always put some fabric on the inside of the window. The red fabric that I've used throughout, I have more of that left, so I could always put that into the windows, and that way I would have like a little bit of a design, but not a permanent situation. So I still feel like that would let somebody know somebody's living in here, because who's got like a curtain in their window? But anyway, whatever. That's all the questions that I have. If for some reason you put a question on last week's What's Up Wednesday and I did not answer it today, please, please, please mention that in the comment, and I will answer it on the comment for you, because I did go through and I did not see any more, unless it was just human error, which is very, very possible. So I will see you guys later. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do the thumbs up and share. I guess a thumbs up and the like are the same thing, so I guess I should just say like, subscribe, and share. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, I've got some special bonuses coming up for you either today or tomorrow. I have some story time for Juniper. I'll share with you the stories that I'm reading, and I'm going to do that video. I'm going to record that video right now, but I don't know if I'm going to post it today or not. But one of the books I'm reading is Pat the Bunny by Dorothy Cunhart. Pat the Bunny. That's a golden book. This is one of Juniper's favorite books. She always brings it, as you can see, to us to read. And I got, her mom gave me, Emmy gave me a library book to read. It's called I Don't Want to Sleep Tonight by Deborah Norville. This is a library book. So I'm going to read that one. And this one, which is super cute, belongs to them. It's called The Little Girl Who Lost Her Name. And it's by David Kaji Newberry and Pedro Serapicos. I know I just butchered those names. Sorry, guys. So this book belongs to Juniper, and the Pat the Bunny book belongs to Juniper. I wanted to read at least a couple books that belong to her, so that when I'm reading them, she could, oops, sorry guys, she could also be flipping through her book at home. So just the one book is a library book. So yeah, I'm going to film that probably right now. and load it up either later tonight or tomorrow. But I also have another special video I'm hoping to do today, and that is a little rearranging in the back. I've decided to go back to a slightly different configuration, not the bed, but the bookcase that I have. I think I'm going to put it back the way it was, the original way that it was, which means I got to figure out a situation for the water in the sink. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting, and I might have Emmy help me with that. We'll see. I don't know. Depends on how she's feeling too. She's busy. So thanks again, guys, for all your wonderful comments, all your wonderful questions. Don't forget, put your question for next week in this video. I will not go back in all my videos and figure out what questions there are. I will only answer videos next week for this video. So please put your questions for next week here, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks, guys.